Welcome to the course of Cryptography and Network Security. This course is for 4 BTech first sem. Myself G. Prashanti, Vignan's Lara Institute of Technology and Science, Department of Information Technology. So in today's class we are going to discuss about the key distribution. Okay. So here first let's discuss about the symmetric key distribution. Already you know about the symmetric key, where symmetric key in the sense same key. Here both sender and the receiver will be using the same key for encryption and decryption. Okay. So here since the key has to be shared between the senders and the receiver, so and that key has to be shared in a secret manner. So here the question is how to distribute those keys. Okay. So since the key has to be whatever the key that sender and the receiver are using, those has to be distributed secretly. Okay. So here each pair of communicating entities needs a shared key. Okay, whatever the key that is required, so both sender and the receiver has to share the key. For a n-party system, there are n into n minus 1 by 2 distinct keys in the system, and each party needs to maintain n minus 1 distinct keys. Okay, so if suppose a particular person is like interacting with these 4 persons, so in that case this person has to maintain one key with this particular person, one secret key with this person, one secret key with this person, and another secret key with this person. So he has to maintain 4 secret keys. For example, if he is like communicating with 4 person, he has to maintain 4 secret keys. Okay. So similarly, if it is like 10 persons, if it is like 20 persons, as the number of person goes, the number of keys that has to be kept secret and the number of keys that have to be shared secretly increases. Okay. So it is like somewhat a burden like that. So how to reduce the number of, here the question is how to reduce the number of shared keys in the system. Okay. And how to securely distribute this. Not only sharing that, it has to be shared secretly. Okay. So sharing this key secretly with all these peoples, okay, and maintaining those number of secret key, it is like a difficult task. Okay. So maintaining the secret keys, like this person has to maintain maintain keys for these 4 persons, and those keys has to be maintained secretly. So it is like a burden. Maintaining that number of keys secretly and sharing that number of keys secretly with other members is like a burden. To reduce that burden, here we are having some concepts. Okay. So here to reduce that burden of creating the secret key and sharing that secret key, so we are having a key distribution center. Okay. So to reduce that burden of sharing the keys, we are having a key distribution center, where this key distribution center creates a key for each member. Okay. So who are the members that are registered for this key distribution center? So for each member a secret key will be maintained. Okay. And that secret key is for this particular person and the KDC. Okay. And the secret key is not for, okay, the secret key is not for these members. Okay. So whatever the secret key that is KDC is creating, that secret key is between this KDC and Alice. Okay. So similarly there will be another secret key, that secret key is between Anne and KDC. Okay. And similarly there will be another secret key that KDC will be generated, and that secret key will be between KDC and Ted. Okay. So in this way KDC will be generating secret keys, and these secret keys are between this Alice and the KDC. Okay. And not between the members. Okay. So that is this secret key. This secret key can be used only between the member and the KDC, between the member and KDC, and not between the 2 members. It is not between the 2 members. Okay. So this secret key is between this member and between this KDC. Okay. So that is the key distribution center, where that key distribution center will be generating the keys. Okay. So by using those keys, the sender and the receiver can communicate in a secure manner. Okay. So this is a simple protocol using a KDC. Okay, so here for example one member is Alice and the other member is Bob. Okay, so these two entities want to share a secret key. Okay, so here these two entities want to share a secret key, or we can say here the KDC generates the session keys. Second session keys in the sense that so the Alice and Bobs can use that session key for that particular session only. Okay, so after completing of that session, the key will be expired. So for next session, if they want to communicate in the next session, they will have to generate another session key. Okay, so here session key where the key will be valid for that particular session only. Okay, so here Alice and Bob want to communicate. Okay, they want to communicate. For that they require a secret key. Okay, here Alice and Bob want to share a secret key. Okay, they want to share a secret key called as the session key. By using that session key, they can do encryption and decryption. Okay, so for generating that session key here, instead of Alice creating the session key, what it will be doing is that it is taking the help of the key distribution center. Okay, so here actually Alice has to create the key, and that key has to be shared between Alice and Bob. So here since it is a burden for each member to generate the keys. Okay, so here what Alice will be doing is that the Alice is requesting KDC to generate the session key, and by using that session key, Alice and Bob can communicate. Okay, so here instead of Alice generating the session key, the KDC is doing the job. The KDC generates the session key and it sends to the Alice where using that session key, Alice and Bob can communicate. Okay, so here in this scenario we can see that already we have said that the KDC generate a secret key for each member. Okay, so here we are having a KA, which is a secret key between the Alice and KDC. Okay, and similarly we are having another secret key KB, which is a secret key between the KDC and Bob. Okay, so here what happens is that since Alice wants a session key, okay, since Alice requires a session key for communication, so what it will be doing is that the Alice requests the KDC. Okay, so what in step 1 is done here is that, so as in step 1, so Alice is sending a request to KDC to send a session key. Okay, and in this request she is saying that she want to communicate with Bob. Okay, so here Alice is requesting the KDC to generate a session key. Okay, so and that session key will be used between Alice and Bob. Okay, so and then what the KDC will be doing is that upon receiving the request, what the KDC will be doing is that it will be generating a session key. Okay, so that is your step 2. Where in step 2 the KDC is generating a session key. This is your session key KS. Okay, so this is also the same session key. Okay, so here what the KDC will be doing is that it is generating the session key, and after generating the session key, the key has to be sent to the Alice. Okay, so and whatever the session key that it is sending, it has to be sent secretly. Since it has to be sent secretly, what this KDC is doing that it is encrypting the session key. Okay, it is encrypting the session key with the key of the Alice and KDC. Okay, so whatever the session key that KDC has created, so that session key has to be sent secretly to Alice. To send secretly to Alice, what the KDC is doing is that the KDC is encrypting the session key with the key of the Alice and the KDC along with this. Okay, along with this part, where this part is for the Bob. Okay, so this part is for the Bob session key. Okay, so the entire thing is sent to the Alice. Okay, well then what Alice will be doing is that since she knows the key here, so she will be decrypting the key. Okay, since Alice knows the KA here, since she also knows, she will be decrypting it and she will be taking the session key. Okay, so this session key is meant for the Alice, and this session key is meant for the Bob. Okay, So what here Alice will be doing is that Alice will be decrypting this entire path. Since Alice also knows that KA. Okay, since already Alice also knows the KA, since it is a secret key between Alice and KDC, so what Alice will be doing is that she will be decrypting this entire part. So she decrypts this and she takes her part. Okay, so she takes her part of the session key and she sends the part of the Bob to the Bob. Okay, so and what Bob will be doing here is that since the Bob knows the key, okay, since Bob also knows the key, secret key that is between Bob and KDC, what he will be doing is that he will be decrypting this part and he will be taking the session key KS. Okay, so now Alice and Bob both are having the session key KS. Alice is also having the session key KS and Bob is also having the session key KS. By using this session key, they will be doing encryption and decryption process and they can communicate in a secret manner. Okay, so that is the simple protocol using a KDC where the key distribution center generates a session key. Okay, generates the session key, and by using that session key, both Alice and Bob can securely communicate with each other. Okay, so for generating that session key, so here what Alice will be doing is that first Alice is requesting KDC to generate a session key between Alice and Bob. Okay, after that the KDC will be generating a session key, and since the session key has to be sent secretly, what the KDC will be doing is that the session key is encrypted with the key of the Alice and KDC. Okay, so KDC will be encrypting the key, encrypting it, and it will be sending to the Alice. Okay, so and in this part what we are having is that one key. This key is for the Alice and this entire part is for the Bob. Okay, so here the KDC will combine those two things and encrypts it with a key KA and sends it to Alice. Okay, so Alice will be decrypting it. Okay, Alice decrypts it. She takes her session key and the remaining part she sends to Bob. Okay, so since Bob knows this key, okay, since Bob knows the key, he decrypts it and he takes his session key. Okay, so both keys are same session keys. Okay, so they will be using those keys for the for securely communication. Okay, so there is one key distribution center that we are having for sharing the keys securely between the entities. Okay, so next we are having is a Kerberos. Okay, so where Kerberos is an authentication protocol. It is an authentication protocol. Kerberos is an authentication protocol and at the same time a KDC also. It is also a key distribution center. Okay, so it is also a type of key distribution center which is used as an authentication protocol that has become very popular nowadays. Okay, so including Windows 2000 uses Kerberos, and it is originally designed by MIT. It has gone through several versions. Okay, so you are having several versions of Kerberos, Kerberos 4, we are having Kerberos 5. Okay, so and in that Kerberos we will be having some servers here. Okay, so these Kerberos contain several servers. The first server is an authentication server. Okay, so the authentication server is the KDC in the Kerberos protocol, and this authentication server authenticates the entities. Okay, who are the entities that want to communicate? So the authentication server authenticates those entities. Okay, and similarly you are having another server called as the ticket granting server. Okay, so this ticket granting server issues a ticket for the real server. Okay, whatever the real server we are having, if the entity wants to access that real server, what that entity has to do is that it has to take a ticket. Okay, it has to take a ticket from the ticket granting server, and then it can communicate to the real server. Okay, and you are having a real server. The real server provides service for the user. Okay, whoever the user we are having, so this real server provides service to the user. So here if the user is like Alice, okay, so if the user is like Alice and the server is like Bob, okay, so here if this user want to access this server, okay, if Alice wants to access this Bob, so what it has to do is that it has to take the ticket from the ticket granting server, and with that ticket it has to access this server. Okay, so here it is like similar to your theater. When you want to watch a movie, what you have to do? You have to take a ticket. Okay, so after taking a ticket, and then you will be going to the theater, where at the outside the person will be checking the ticket, and then you are allowed to view, and then you are allowed to watch the movie. Okay, so similarly here, if Alice wants to access this server, it has to take a ticket. Okay, so that ticket it will be taking from the ticket granting server. Okay, so here it takes the ticket and it takes the ticket from the ticket granting server, and by using that ticket it will be accessing the server. Okay, so that is about the Kerberos. Okay, so these are the different servers I have said. So you are having like authentication server. Okay, so authentication server. This authentication server authenticates the users. Okay, whoever the users want to access the server. Whoever the users want to access the server, first the users are authenticated at the authentication server. Okay, so authenticated in the sense that they will be checking if that particular user is eligible to use that server. If that particular person is having the permissions to access that server. If he is accessing the, if that particular user is having the permission to access the server, then he has to take the ticket from the ticket granting server, and then he will be able to access the server. Okay, if the person is not like eligible, if the person is, or we can say if the user is not eligible to access the server, then he will be rejected at this authentication server only. So at the authentication server only, you will be getting an error message, you are not allowed to enter. Okay, so enter the password again, so you will be getting like error messages. Okay, so that is the Kerberos servers here. Okay, so it's like here, as we have said, like Alice wants to access the server Bob. Okay, here Alice is the user, so this user want to access the server. To access the server, what this user has to do is that first he has to go to the authentication server, and there they have to authenticate. Okay, so here the user will be going to the authentication server, where at the authentication server they will be checking whether this user is a valid person or not. Okay, if that particular user is a valid person, then he is provided with a ticket here. Okay, so here this authentication server provides a ticket. So by using this ticket, the person will be accessing this ticket granting server. Okay, so first here the Alice will be requesting. Okay, so requesting the authentication server to provide a ticket. Okay, to provide a ticket for accessing this ticket granting server. Okay, so for that, here when that person requests, what the authentication server will be doing is that it will be checking whether this user is a valid person. Okay, if he is a valid person, then it provides the ticket. Okay, so here this Alice will be getting one ticket. So what then Alice will be doing is that so it will be it will be sending that ticket to this ticket granting server. Okay, so along with the it will be giving the ticket to the ticket granting server, and also it sends a request for the for ticket for Bob also. Okay, so it sends a request. Okay, so request ticket for Bob, since here Alice wants to access that server. Okay, since Alice want to access that server, so it is requesting for access to that server, and it will be sending this ticket also, plus this ticket also. Okay, so what the ticket granting server will be doing is that it will be verifying this ticket. If the ticket is okay, then it provides a ticket. Again, this ticket granting server again provides a ticket. Okay, so and then what the Alice will be doing is that the Alice sends the ticket to the server, and the Okay, so and then what this Alice will be doing is that so taking that ticket, it will be requesting the server. Okay, so the server will be verifying the ticket, and then it will be provided with the grant access. Okay, so here that is about the CarePro servers, where we are having 3 servers. Okay, where here Alice wants to access this server. For Alice to access this server, first it has to request this authentication server. Okay, so what the authentication server will be doing is that the authentication server validates this user, and after validating this user, it will be sending a ticket to the user. Okay, and then what the user will be doing is that it will be sending the TGC, the ticket, along with the request for a ticket for accessing this BOB. Okay, so and then what the TGC will be doing is that it will be verifying the ticket, and it will be again sending a ticket to the Alice. Okay, by using this ticket, the Alice will be accessing the server. Okay, so here the server will be checking this ticket, and if it is a valid one, then it will be allowing Alice to grant the access. Okay, so that is about the CarePro servers. Okay, and this is one simple example of your CarePros example. Okay, so here again, as Alice wants to Alice wants to communicate with this server. Okay, Alice wants to access that server. To access that server, what the Alice wants is that Alice requires a ticket. Okay, so here Alice has to submit a ticket to this server. Okay, so Alice has to submit a ticket to the server. The server will be verifying the ticket. If the ticket is okay, then the Alice is allowed to access that server. Okay, so to get this ticket, what Alice has to do is that first it has to go to the authentication server. Okay, to get the ticket for accessing the server, what first Alice has to do is that Alice has to go to the authentication server. So it goes to the authentication server and requests for the ticket. Okay, so ticket for accessing this ticket granting server. Okay, so and then what authentication server will be doing is that authentication server will check whether Alice is a valid person. If it is a valid person, then it provides a ticket for the ticket granting server. Okay, so this ticket is useful to access this ticket granting server. Okay, so here the authentication server gives the ticket granting server to Alice. Okay, so you can see here. So here whatever the ticket granting see here, this is the ticket for the ticket granting server. Okay, so whatever this ticket that is provided by this authentication server, it is encrypted with. Okay, so it is encrypted and then sent to the Alice. Okay, since the ticket is a confidential one, so that nobody else can view that ticket. So whatever the ticket that authentication server has generated, that ticket is encrypted with the key between Alice and authentication server. Okay, and then what the Alice will be doing is that Alice will be decrypting it. Okay, since she also knows the key, so she will be decrypting it, and she will be taking this ticket granting server. Okay, so and after that what the Alice will be doing is that, so she will be sending this ticket granting. Okay, so she will be sending this ticket along with the BOB. Okay, since the Alice wants to access that server. Okay, since Alice wants to access the server that is called as BOB. Okay, since Alice wants to access the server that is called as BOB, she will be sending a request of the identity of the BOB. Okay, so she will, what Alice will be doing is that she will be sending the identity of BOB. Okay, identity of BOB means that it is requesting for the ticket to that server BOB. Okay, so she is sending a request identity of the BOB along with this ticket granting server. Okay, so now it is sent to this ticket granting server. This ticket granting server verifies this ticket. Okay, so it verifies this ticket. If it is okay, then it sends. Then this ticket granting server sends the ticket to the BOB. Okay, so then this ticket granting server sends a ticket So this ticket is related to that server. Okay, so you can see this is the ticket for the Bob. Okay, so and this ticket, okay, so this ticket for the Bob is again encrypted. Okay, so it is again encrypted. So it is again encrypted with the key of Alice and ticket granting server. Okay, and it is sent to Alice. So again what Alice will be doing is that Alice will be decrypting it and takes the ticket to the Bob. Okay, and then she sends the ticket to the server and the server will verify this ticket. If it is okay, then it provides grant access. So this is the access grant. Okay, so here that is the Kerberos. If you want to access the server, okay, the user has to take the ticket from the ticket granting server, and by using that ticket only the Alice can access the server. Okay, so here you are having some versions of the Kerberos. Already we have said you are having two types of versions of Kerberos, version 4 and version 5. Okay, so there are some differences between these two versions. Okay, so the first difference is that version 5 has a longer ticket lifetime. Okay, so the lifetime, whatever the ticket that Alice is taking for the server, so that ticket will be having longer lifetime. If it is like a ticket, if it is like version 4, the version 4 ticket is lifetime is very less. It is like 1 day, 364 hours like that. It is having like the ticket that Alice will be receiving in version 4 is having less lifetime. Okay, so within that lifetime only the Alice has to access the server. Okay, whereas when you take the version 5, so the ticket lifetime is longer and the Alice can access the server with that ticket for longer life. Okay, and similarly version 5 allows tickets to be renewed. Okay, so if you want you can take if you want you can renew the ticket also, and similarly version 5 can accept any symmetry key algorithm. Okay, whereas in version 4 there is a restrictions to some to only some symmetric key algorithms, where like if you want to, okay, so where you will be using like these encryptions. Okay, whatever the ticket that authentication server is providing, that is encrypted with the key. So whatever the symmetric key algorithms that you are using, those are restricted in version 4, whereas in version 5 you can use any asymmetric key algorithms. Okay, whereas in version 5 you can use any symmetric key algorithms. Okay, and similarly version 5 uses different protocols for describing different data types. Okay, so for describing different data types, version 5 uses the different protocols, whereas version 4 there is a restriction there. Okay, and similarly version 5 has more overhead than version 4. Okay, so those are the some of the limitations of version 4 and some advantages of some version 5. Okay, and similarly that is about the symmetric key distribution. Okay, so symmetric key distribution where the shared key can be distributed among the members of a group by using a key distribution center. Okay, or by using the Kerberos. So similarly a public key distribution, or we can say asymmetric key distribution. Okay, so where in asymmetric key cryptography people do not need to know a symmetric shared key. Okay, so here there is no need to share a secret key. Here here you will be having like private key and public key, where the private key is shielded in the sense that the private key has to be kept secret and the public key can be announced. Okay, and the public key can be advertised in the sense that the public key can be announced. Okay, so here the question is that how to announce the public key. Since the private key will be kept secret, so since the public key has to be announced, how to announce that public key? So to announce that public key, we are having some trusted centers. Okay, so we are having some trusted centers. By using those trusted centers, we can announce the public keys. Okay, so here for announcing the public keys, what the trusted center will be doing is that the trusted center maintains a directory. So those directory contains the names of those members along with their public key. Okay, so these KA, KB are the public keys of those particular persons. So here, what if Alice wants, for example, Alice wants the public key of Bob. Okay, if Alice wants the public key of Bob, so here what the Alice will be doing is that the Alice is requesting. Okay, so the Alice is requesting the trusted center for sending the public key of the Bob. So here what the trusted center will be doing is that the trusted center is sending the public key of the Bob. So this is the public key of the Bob. Okay, so here the trusted center is sending the public key of the Bob along with the signature. Okay, along with the signature of the trusted center. So this signature is for the authentication purpose. Authentication purpose in the sense that, so Alice has received this public key from the trusted center. Okay, and not from any unauthorized person. Okay, to authenticate that whatever the Alice received is from the trusted center only. So here the trusted center is doing a signature on this time stamp. Okay, so it is doing a signature on the time stamp and it is sending that public key of the Bob to the Alice. Okay, so here Alice, since it sees the signature, it is since the Alice can verify the signature. Okay, so here Alice verifies the signature. So if it is okay, that means that whatever the key that she has received is from the trusted center, and she will be taking this key as the Bob's public key. She will be taking this key as the Bob's public key. In that way, Alice can get the public keys. Okay, so that is one method of advertising or announcing the public keys, where you can take the help of the trusted center. So you can request the trusted center for the public keys, and the trusted center can send you the public keys.